Friends of Formula One, Ferrari is finally set to unleash the evolved Macarena wing at Budapest, complete with what engineers call hanger flaps. Small aerodynamic appendages already seen on the Mercedes, and ones that are set to be banned from the regulations starting in 2027. That makes them an almost exclusive weapon for the Scuderia in their championship push through the second half of the season. The confirmation comes from Auto Racer and from Rosario Juliana. The package was actually ready in time for Spa, but it never made it onto the car due to production delays with spare parts from the Maranello suppliers. The goal of the hanger flaps is to increase local rear downforce on the SF-26, cleverly exploiting the volumes normally reserved for the structural elements of the flap itself. The expected gain is around 3 km per hour of additional top speed, combined with more aerodynamic load overall, making this a broad performance upgrade, not one tailored exclusively to low downforce circuits. The Hungaroring itself, though, presents a genuinely complex mix of asphalt surfaces that turns setup definition into a real nightmare. The main straight and third sector were completely resurfaced in 2025, while the central portion of the circuit still carries the original, older tarmac. Mercedes is known to be extremely sensitive to surface characteristics, while Ferrari tends to come alive on lower grip compounds. Vasseur and Leclerc are keeping expectations in check, reminding everyone of Monaco where Ferrari was supposed to win and instead found themselves staring at the back of Antonelli's car. Hamilton, on the other hand, is 100% optimistic and openly talking about new developments on the way to close the gap. Let's start with the technical heart of the most anticipated upgrade of recent weeks. The evolved Macarena wing, designed for high downforce configurations, will feature additional elements that engineers technically refer to as hanger flaps. These are small aerodynamic appendages that exploit the volumes allocated to the structural components of the flap, generating extra local load at the rear. It's an idea that Mercedes has been running on their rear wing since winter testing, and it's quickly becoming an influence across the paddock as teams scramble to recover rear downforce. The hanger flaps will be officially banned by the regulations from 2027 onwards, which means their practical window of use is almost entirely limited to this year's SF-26. That makes them a potential secret weapon for Ferrari in their championship fight through 2026. The behind-the-scenes story of the past few days is genuinely interesting. Right up until almost the last moment, Ferrari had not committed to fitting the evolved reverse wing for the Belgian weekend. And this had nothing to do with safety or performance concerns. The issue was simply that the department responsible for producing the specifications and components of the car was unable to deliver the parts and spares in time for Spa-Francorchamps. Ferrari would have preferred to introduce it immediately, but the solution is now finally ready to make its debut in Hungary. The mobile flap on this wing rotates approximately 270 degrees, creating more gap between the wing profiles and allowing greater airflow through the center, cutting drag on the straights. The aerodynamic modifications are designed to improve the efficiency of the car, helping the SF-26 hold higher top speeds for longer and generate more downforce overall. There is also a critical element worth highlighting here. In recent weeks, there have been serious questions around the safety of the reverse wing concept, with Red Bull even forced to revert to the standard specification of their own wing in Belgium following reliability failures on Max Verstappen's car. The federation has since clarified its position and is now satisfied, and Ferrari's solution, which uses an entirely different concept from their rivals, has never shown the slightest reliability issue across the enormous mileage already covered. We are talking about over 10,000 kilometers logged without a single problem. The Ferrari system, which looks more complex on the surface, has proven to be extremely robust, and it is clear that the Maranello engineers had no intention of rushing the debut of the updated version, precisely to avoid putting that hard-earned reliability record at risk. Now let's look at why the Hungaroring is considered a natural home for Ferrari. The Hungarian circuit features far more flowing, technical sections compared to the previous few rounds, where power unit contribution plays a significantly smaller role than at Silverstone or Spa. The SF-26 holds a clear advantage in cornering speed, a characteristic that has become increasingly evident over recent races. On traction and braking too, Ferrari has improved dramatically compared to where they were at the start of the season. In terms of conditions, the Hungaroring is expected to see temperatures between 25 and 30 degrees, making it one of the hottest events on the calendar. The layout is friendly both from an energy management and a raw power perspective. Vassar himself has said the next circuit will be a bit more on our side. But it is not all smooth sailing, and there is one area where Ferrari still has significant work to do. Rear wheel spin, the tendency for the driven wheel to lose traction on the exit of slow corners, remains a genuine weak point for the Maranello car compared to the competition. Budapest is packed with slow corners that demand explosive acceleration on the exit, and whoever has the best traction can make a decisive difference. The engineering group led by Matteo Toninelli has committed fully to maximizing downforce, even going against initial plans by choosing to keep the FTM wing at Spa. On a track like the Hungaroring, where sacrificing downforce for top speed would be counterproductive, as it might be at Monza or Las Vegas, that decision to run FTM for additional downforce becomes exactly the right call. Now we come to the real technical puzzle of the weekend. The Hungarian circuit features several sections that have been completely resurfaced at different points in time. The surface on the main straight dates back to 2025, and the third sector is also relatively recent, while the central part of the track still carries the original, much older asphalt. Drivers will need to manage entirely different macro and micro roughness characteristics within a single lap. A surgical challenge when it comes to nailing the setup. And here comes a piece of genuinely good news for Ferrari. Mercedes has proven to be highly sensitive to the type of surface it encounters, and as Kimi Antonelli himself confirmed a few races ago, tracks with older tarmac or reduced grip tend to hurt Mercedes significantly while appearing to suit Ferrari quite well. The two Mercedes cars still carry a slight aerodynamic downforce deficit compared to the Maranello machine. That said, Vasseur and Leclerc are preaching caution. The French team principal and the Monegasque driver are doing everything they can to cool the enthusiasm of the fans, reminding everyone that being the favorite on paper does not automatically translate into winning races. The feeling is that this will not be a straightforward weekend. Clean execution will continue to be the deciding factor because Mercedes has shown they can find the right balance, even working within a reduced range of stiffness settings, as they demonstrated in Monte Carlo. What Ferrari needs is a perfect SF-26. We close with what stands out as the most upbeat voice in the team. Lewis Hamilton is somewhat out of step with the cautious tone, having used his post-race interviews at Spa to boost the prancing horse's chances, openly talking about new technical updates on the way. The Briton told Sky UK that it is genuinely fantastic to see the performance they are extracting, that the car is improving constantly, and that there are more developments coming to try to close that gap. Speaking to Sky Italia, he added that the car will be strong in Hungary, and that if the team finds an ideal setup without making mistakes, they can finish where they deserve. The new developments Hamilton is referring to could well be exactly the evolved Macarena wing with the hanger flaps, which adds to a broader development pipeline that includes a third aerodynamic package for Zandvoort and A-Duo 2 for Monza. The Budapest weekend is shaping up to be a pivotal one for the Scuderia. The evolved Macarena wing is finally race-ready, bringing 3 extra kilometers per hour of top speed, combined with increased rear downforce, backed by over 10,000 kilometers of flawless reliability on the rotating wing. The Hungaroring sets up well for the SF-26, but wheel spin remains a risk. The mixed asphalt surfaces need careful reading, and Mercedes cannot be underestimated. This fight is far from over.